Rusted metal, thunder growls, screams of tires, dirt that scowls. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Fried Racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Every lap a rebel's dream. Gasoline, hearts and the scream. Dave and Dean crown the track. Each corner fight, ain't turning back. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Fried Racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Fried Racing breed. Southern Fried Racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Fried Racing breed.
And there we come. Let me get things sized up here. We had big picture, little picture, so
Yeah.
we look wild. I've got your camera too high. I know that. Let's bring you down there, Dean. We need to get you on screen better. You're a superstar. You deserve it.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in to the Southern Fried Racing Hour on a stormy Friday afternoon. I said
A rainy night.
a rainy night. I said today we needed a little more rain, even though it's been really nice and we've had a lot of rain. I said it's good to get some rain because it don't take much in this kind of heat when it starts getting hotter to dry things out. So right as we went live,
Right.
it really started letting go here in North Georgia. So that's good though. It will fill up the it'll fill up the Southern Fried River.
Yes, it will.
I mean, it flows into it. The river had been getting a little low, and now it'll fill up.
That's right.
We've had a weird week. You know, life happens. I had a conference to go to, so we couldn't do the sports show last night. But you know what? We could, due to James had to work tonight. But Dean's like, "Hey, we doing a show?" I'm like, "Anytime, man. Let's go."
Let's do it.
We're talking. We actually are getting this racing hour in before the race.
Right.
Even though typically we do talk about the new race, we're really catching up, kind of lagging, but that's fine because we get the results.
That's right.
This week, we get actually a look at the race as we're heading into it a little closer.
A pre-race show.
A pre-race show, and then we'll follow up with the post-race, and then looking forward again.
Right.
Who knows? We may do 2 shows a week. It don't matter.
Yeah, I don't mind.
We can write the rules on this,
That's right.
and that's nice. No government interference.
That's right.
We're not living in a dictatorship yet.
Yeah.
And we can make the rules.
That's right.
And so if we
we
want,
can break them too. We can make them.
and we can break them. But we're looking at Michigan. A lot of fast track.
Yes.
Speed, and more speed is definitely on tap for this weekend.
And temper's flaring.
Tempers flaring. It's heating up. The track has a lot of lanes, a lot of opportunity to pass on this track.
Right.
Michigan can be hard for some drivers. We mentioned that,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. This thing is really tight. The qualifying is occurring
Yes.
sometime, probably as we speak. So we don't have results on the qualifying yet.
The qualifying for the trucks happened today, I think.
Yes, they did talk
And then
about that.
The cup qualifying would be tomorrow. and then the practice will be tomorrow too.
We're going to show a couple things we haven't shown before. We're going to look at the standings of the trucks and the Xfinity. If things work out, I think I've got them ready to go. We'll share a screen and do that. And the PowerPoint got fixed. I figured out what Dave messed up. That's usually what happens. I mess it up. So we'll kind of look back and just refresh ourselves a little bit on that.
Okay.
So this is not, I wouldn't say this is in my top 5 of racetracks, but it is a fast track, and I like that.
Right.
I hope that, some drivers kind of figure some things out. I think there's, maybe kind of figure out who, because I've been back and forth between Larson and Byron. Hamlin is showing very strong.
Yes, he is.
Consistent finishes.
Yes.
A lot of speed.
Yes.
He's really surprised me. And then you've got a couple others, Bell, and of course Reddick
Right.
has showed some nice speed. Chastain got the win, but he's kind of slipped back a little bit.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace has come back on.
Hocevar's coming.
Hocevar, man, he's a hoss. I like that guy. I like that car. He's a big dude,
He is.
and I hoping that he can really kind of get going, because I think I like that. Blaney, don't forget Blaney.
That's right.
And Blaney has done a good job of late. Really turned it on.
What happened to Daniel Suarez? He's not showed up yet.
Well, no, he had a couple of nice finishes, but you're right. He's not really put it all together. He's more of a road course kind of guy.
He is.
But he's got good stuff, and he really should, I think, be finishing a little better than he has.
After we leave Matt Nashville, I heard he's going to go down to Mexico, practice on that track, and do some public appearing, autographs.
Well, that's got to be a big deal for him.
Yes, it is.
Going to Mexico, and I would say they really want to tap into that and play into the fact that he's, it's Mexico and his heritage and stuff. But
Right.
I think that they will. I'm interested to see how that kind of turns out.
I am too.
Could this become a track that's consistently on the schedule?
Could be.
If you feel, I have not seen is it the same? And I don't know, is it the same stadium that or is it different from where they've done the other sports? That's a huge thing.
It's the same one that they do the F1 cars on.
Okay.
It's the same one.
I don't know the seating on that,
I don't either.
but usually when you go to Mexico, they pack it out.
Yes.
It's an event, and that will be cool, for the drivers to go there, and for the fans to see something up close that they don't normally see. So it'll be interesting. The Michigan start time, I believe we're back to the afternoons. I think
We are.
This one was a 2, right?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Next week's 3 o'clock, I believe. Then back to 2 o'clock.
Yes.
So it's going to be a little bit before we get back to the night races. But in the heat of the day, the cooling systems will need for the car and the
Yes.
driver
Yes.
will need to be really on par, because it gets hot anytime, but especially when as these temperatures heat up, that's going to play in. Tires could become an issue at Michigan. Michigan can be hard on tires.
Yes. Yes.
We haven't heard anything about tires for a few weeks now.
Right.
I got to give Goodyear credit.
I do too.
There's been no problem.
But there's big bumps in the track.
The bumps in the track, got to get that fixed.
Yes.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
I know you're going to have bumps, but they were talking about railroad ties or
Right.
something. I mean, what is it? Are they going to start launching the cars in the air? I mean, it don't take much
No, it don't.
at that speed, but they got to get some of those tracks fixed
Yes.
like that. And I don't know how many tracks have double races there. I know Daytona does, Talladega.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I think there's about, off the top of my head, maybe, I want to say 10 tracks has got double races.
That's the number that popped in my head, but I didn't know if it was anywhere close to being right. I've looked at it before. I didn't look at it before this show. But so you get back into some of as we're getting to the second part of the season, some of those tracks will come back and play again.
Yes. Atlanta comes back.
Atlanta comes back. Are there any, except for road courses, are there any tracks that we haven't been to yet? No, because we haven't been to
Pocono,
Pocono. We've not been to
Michigan.
Michigan this week. That's right. What's that? What's that?
Watkins Glen. We been to Watkins Glen yet?
And what's that one in New Hampshire?
New Hampshire Speedway.
But it's what is that? What is that race called? I don't remember. It's not. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't. Those are some of the tracks that we haven't been to yet, and then we'll be coming back into some of the tracks the second time around. And you know, drivers will have some experience on those tracks now this season. Not that they haven't raced there before.
Right.
Those tracks are different, and of course, as it heats up, those tracks will change as well too. For the first rain or the weather or whatever may be happening in those tracks. So it's going to be tight, and the racing is tight. And
Right.
the points are really tight. We're going to look at if this works right.
Well, another good track coming up would be, if I'm correct on this, Iowa Speedway.
Iowa, okay. That'd be interesting too.
Yes.
Let's
That'll
pull-
be on Sunday, August 3rd.
We actually have a slideshow that goes past the second slide now. My mistake, but Amazon again done a great job. I just want to take a quick look again because it's been a few days since we've done this show, and we look at those results from Nashville, which I think was a very big success. And we see it. You can see it on screen now. I still have to say Hamlin surprises me. I'm not doubting him anymore. He's got that race car is locked in.
Yeah, yes.
Hocevar is the dude that I think could come up and cause a lot of problems for those leaders.
Oh, yes.
Not that Blaney couldn't. I think Blaney's another one they got to worry about. But Byron and Logano finally put together another good finish. Byron is still top 5 and still leading the pack. I did see the story about Larson deciding not to race at one of the races he was thinking about. I could be wrong. I kind of think they kind of spoke to him about locking in and really focusing on the NASCAR circuit because he has an opportunity to be a champion. And maybe that whole IndyCar fiasco, he apologized. I think that they decided that's not something that he needs to be doing.
Right.
He needs to lock in on the NASCAR circuit. I mean, he's got a chance to be a champion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not just a chance, but he's a favored one.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, I was thinking that he was going to be the champion, and as he still may be, I just think that Byron is putting together more solid finishes now.
Oh, yes.
And maybe that's Hendrick probably as a team, they're not going to put up with too much.
You're right.
I would say, listen, you've done good. He had an 8th place in this race.
Right.
I like Eric Jones as well, although he has not consistently been up there like he should, but he's a young, really good driver. Reddick, Bell, and Chastain. Any one of these drivers, and even Bubba, who's not, I think this was a nice finish for him.
It was.
And he's been falling out late in races, but any one of these drivers, maybe besides Bubba, nothing against him, but I think he's still searching for consistency at each track. But any one of these drivers can win on any given Sunday.
Oh, yes, yes.
Without a doubt. In fact, most of those on that screen have won.
Right.
With the exception of...
Don't look, Bell. Bell could come in.
Yeah, I know why. I got to be honest, I don't know why, but he's kind of easy to overlook, and I don't know why. But he is also racing very, very solid. And I like him. And if you look at just that result at the Cracker Barrel 400, I see a lot of Toyotas.
I do too. Yeah.
The Ford won it, but there's a lot of Toyotas, and they're showing up and showing out, and 3 Chevys right there in that. You get a little deeper in it. That, again, we come back and said that was a nice finish by Kyle Busch.
It was.
I do like, by the way, I saw a little article today about Chase. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
They, somebody's trying to throw the label on him, overrated.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw
I
that.
didn't see that. No,
I think it's a dig at him because honestly, he's supposed to be up there in that top 5.
he should be.
And he was in this race 15th.
Right.
We have said through the first part of the season, it's the little things.
Right.
It's the mistakes on pit road.
Yes.
It's a little too fast. Tires getting away.
Yes.
A little slow.
Yes.
Maybe not making the best decisions out on the track at times. And at times he looks like the champion that he can be,
He does.
but a little bit of a disappointment so far.
Right.
A little
right.
bit. And so people are trying to jump on him a little bit. Suarez again, just Briscoe, and I like Cindric. I do like Cindric. I don't think Cole Custer is there. Dinger has been hanging around, but not great. McDowell, Gilliland. Really, after you get past Elliott and maybe one others, you get to the mid levels.
Well, Chris Buescher, he tried to put a good race.
He does. And that would be the other one that I would put in that mix. Sorry, Mom, but Kyle Busch can't consistently stay
No,
up
he
there.
can't, Bob. I'm sorry.
Sorry, don't. I got to go with Dean on this one. Like I said, I think it's 10 to 12 deep, and I'll say 12 deep that any of those could win on any given Sunday.
Yes, yes.
The rest of them, things are going to happen.
Right.
And I would even drop Bubba down. I don't really believe he should be in that top 12 of the ones that I'm talking about right now.
Right.
But maybe a Cindric could. So I don't know.
Yeah, he could mix it up.
So we get on down the list. Keselowski,
Where's he at? He's not showed up in a mix.
I thought he was kind of turning it around. SVG, a short track king.
Right.
He's got tracks coming up where he'll make some moves. This was a disappointing finish.
Josh Berry.
Yeah, I'm a Woods Brothers guy. I've said this many times. I want to see him do better.
I do too.
I like him. I like that team. They've got the Penske motor plant. He seems to get kind of stuck in that 15th to 19th area, and he runs a lot of the race there. And either he moves up into the top 15 or he falls outside of that. And here we go. He was 30th.
Right.
He was running 17th, 18th, and 19th.
He was.
Even 15th and 14th.
He was.
But then he slid back. And that's been the problem with him.
Well, what about Ty Gibbs? He got showed up none.
No, it's disappointing. Disappointing. I would say that. There's some of these that are still trying to find themselves and their team. There's still some issues for some of those. And so we'll see. Gregson was the first off the line today for qualifying. He's the first one out.
Was.
I think they're doing one lap in the qualifying run.
I think they are. One or two laps.
You get up to speed, and I think you
Yeah.
get that one lap. And maybe before we go off the air, we'll see if they have came in with the qualifying.
I had read and heard yesterday that Bowman might be out of a job.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
I read that, and I've seen it yesterday too.
That would be interesting. Well, like I said, this is halfway through. Teams are deciding what do we have.
That's it.
By now, you've got to be showing something, and 36 is not going to cut it. Not on that race team.
No.
And there are other drivers that they could put in that car.
Right.
And he's just not getting it done. The top three for them are solid. He's just not been consistent enough. For some teams, they would love to have it.
Yeah, yes.
But if you're going to be on that team, you better put it together a little bit better than that.
You better.
Again, a little small print there, but standings. Again, we looked at it. Byron and Larson leading the way. 48-point difference. 2 Chevys. And the same team.
That's right.
They're just rocking it.
Right,
We got 2 Toyotas. Bell, again, we don't talk about him enough. That's my fault. I think that Bell,
I need to.
he deserves. But
Yes.
for some reason, it's like we don't expect him to stay there.
Right.
But he's doing it. He's
He
third.
He is.
He's only 88 points back. And, he's got some wins.
He does.
It's almost like he's like not he's just not being highlighted or
Right,
something.
right.
I mean, he's right there, but even the network's not highlighting
No,
him.
they ain't. No, they ain't.
I mean, why? Why would you not highlight a guy that has the wins and is consistently there? But it's like they're really pushing for some of these others.
Right.
I saw Chastain get more love from them than he got.
He
than
does.
he gets.
You're right.
I don't get that. Who does he race for?
The what?
Who does he race for?
Bale?
Yeah,
Joe Gibbs.
that was my guess, but I couldn't remember. I appreciate it. And Hamlin, up two. Of course, Chase is still right there, but he's kind of dropped back. Reddick dropped down. Big time drop for those guys.
But don't overlook Reddick. Reddick is going to come up.
Reddick's raced really strong. He's had the same problem. Late in the race, he either gets caught up in a wreck or mismanages a pit stop or something. He seems to fade a little bit. But he throughout the race, he is strong. The horsepower is there. He races with anybody. Blaney, and we said Blaney was going to come on, and he has. And he's seventh. Logano, a nice finish. Up, got the arrow up. Ross Chastain still holding there, but he dropped. I don't think he's going to stay in that spot. You know, who knows? Bubba might take that spot this week at Michigan.
It's possible.
It's very possible. Bowman, again, is fading down. He's still 12th, but he's fading down. Cindric and Busher are putting pressure on. And you got to give him credit for mom's sake, if nothing else.
That's right.
Kyle Busch, still 15th. Not bad.
I can't run, so I can't say nothing. I still can't run yet.
Hocefer, he's still down there, but he's been making moves. He's got a big bullet point up.
Right.
Stenhouse is dropping. Dinger's dropping. Barry dropping. I mean, this race was not good for any of these guys. McDowell, Nemechek, Gilliland. Eric Jones is arrow up. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he
Zane
does.
Smith, not talked about much. A lot of talent there. Dylan Gibbs, Suarez. That's really low for Suarez.
It is low.
And even Todd Dillon. So, and Keselowski is, not good.
No.
Not good. And so we see the Michigan Firekeepers Casino 400, 2 p.m. or 200 laps. It is a 2 p.m.
Right.
400 miles. And that is still Prime.
Yes,
we have
Prime.
3 more races with Prime.
Yes.
He's done a great job.
Oh, yeah.
So Michigan at 2, Mexico at 3. These are all Eastern Standard Time. Then we come back for a 2 p.m. At Pocono. Not one of my favorite tracks, but that's a long race. What, 160 laps or something, 150 laps.
It's a 2.5 mile track.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pocono. And then back to Atlanta, 7 p.m. Another night time.
Yes.
This is sponsored by Quaker State. And so the Quaker State 400. That's a long time sponsor.
It is.
Of NASCAR.
Yes.
Quaker State has definitely stayed in there and kept. I like that.
I do too.
And so there you go. Larson's. I mean, he's right there.
He is.
But I think he's got to focus.
He does.
Byron is. I mean, look at this guy. He's consistent.
He is. I mean, I can understand Larson being tired in the Indy, the Coca-Cola, but now he put his thinking plate back on and go back out there and do it again.
Yeah, I think that Larson he just eats racing. I mean,
He does.
He doesn't tire out. He's vicious out there. He fights. Maybe some of it's not his fault with the car. There's things they could do, but he's in a battle here.
He is.
Can't afford, as good as he's done, he's got to do better.
Exactly.
Because Byron is putting the pressure on.
Yeah, he is.
That's hard. I mean, I'll give him credit. He's done great. I mean, I said he's going to be the champion. But Byron, he's just locked and loaded. I mean,
He is.
And really, made mistakes himself.
Oh yeah,
He should have won the 600. Nothing against Chuck, but he should have won.
he should have.
He made mistakes late in that race.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He wanted to blame it on other drivers and stuff, but I think he made some indecision.
Oh, he did.
I think a little bit of inexperience.
Yeah,
That he dabbled too long behind some of the other cars,
did.
Logano and others that he was behind. He definitely could have made that.
right.
And Mom gave us a thumbs up. Thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
We appreciate it. She's faithful to do that.
Oh yes, yes.
Faithful.
Yes.
We appreciate our faithful listeners.
Oh yeah.
But these two right here to me are, if I was going to break it, not because they're 1 and 2, but they both showed me, and that's why I put Byron as right now. He's my pick to be champion because the consistency is there.
Right. He stays up there very up to the front.
Yeah, Larson can do it, but he's got the pressure is on him. Maybe it's that pressure, and I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure of being a teammate.
Could be.
Some people don't like this idea of teams. They never have. They want everybody, and these guys race each other hard. But are you going to put the fender into your teammates? Are you going to bump him a little bit?
It gets down to 10 laps to go. Yes.
They probably would.
Yes.
So we'll see. I just think that these are the dudes right here, but don't count that man out right there.
Those two right there? No.
Hamlin is rocking.
And Bale is too.
And he's right there too.
Bale.
Very young guy. And as good as he's raced, he's dropping because Hamlin did better. I mean,
right.
Both Toyotas. Sorry, Bell. You deserve more
He does.
publicity.
He does.
They do talk about him, but it's like he's not highlighted.
He ain't.
They probably give more press to Kyle Busch than they do him during the race, because they go back into the race. They go back into the where they're running at, and they'll say Kyle Busch going around from 15th to 14th or whatever, and Bell's just sitting right there running really strong.
Right.
And they'll say his name, but then because he's usually right behind the leaders, they'll talk about the top 2 or 3 if he's third or fourth, but then they'll drop back in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Or who's somebody that's climbing from the back. And it's kind of where he's riding at. They just sort of reference him, but they don't really give him any credit.
No, they don't.
Not enough. I don't know what it is. Maybe he needs to get to 5.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to throw a helmet at somebody.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to create your own
You got to.
excitement or image.
Yeah.
Maybe if he got into it with Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Would that not work?
Yeah. But
Maybe we need to call him up. Say, hey.
If you put Bale against Kyle Busch, experience will look out. Kyle Busch got more experience.
Well, but the after race would be great. I'd love to see that garage scene.
Yeah.
Even at Kyle's age, I would love to see that scene. Chase.
God, where's he been?
He's 5th, but it's like, I don't know. It's like he stays close, but just not close enough. Not to be in the talked about in any way for the win.
He goes up, and he just follows back.
He slips back. And if you don't watch, Blaney's going to pass it, because Blaney's racing really hot right now.
Yes.
And he seems like he's put it together. But I ain't going to count Chase out.
No.
That's your guy.
Yeah, that's my driver.
That's your dude.
I got to be chased throughout the whole.
We need a driver called Dude. So that would be a great Southern race car name.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Right.
I would love that. It's like an old Western thing. I could dig it. Again, champion, and Reddick very strong.
But he ain't strong enough.
No, they've made mistakes this year, and he has ticked some people off. He was ticked off last week.
Yes, he was.
He was not happy.
No, he wasn't.
And he made comments about that.
Well, Tyler Reddick, don't overlook him.
No, Reddick's strong. Reddick actually, he's strong enough to get to the front, but he's not strong enough to hold it.
Right.
It's like he just doesn't. I don't know if it's you think out in the air, the clean air, he would do good. but it's like he almost does better behind somebody.
He does.
And because when he goes to pass, sometimes he steps out into clean air, he can't do it.
Yeah,
And a couple of races ago, several times he was going for the lead. He couldn't pull it.
he could. He could.
That-
I saw that.
Whatever it is, that slight difference. I don't know if it's set up. I mean, racing is stronger than anybody but the leader, but he couldn't get there.
He could.
And he used up his tires,
Yes.
and then he faded some. So they're really close. They are really, really close. We'll finish out our power rankings here with Chastain. Got that big win. Busted the watermelon
Yeah.
at Bubba. I kind of counted him out. He's kind of coming back in. I'm gonna give him some credit.
But Bubba's another that comes up. He tries to do good, but he just falls backward.
You know, he showed me something this week. I mentioned
Yes.
it in the last show. He being a little emotional about his son.
Yes. Yes.
It seems like maybe he's matured up a little bit. He still has that attitude sometimes
He
to me
does.
that is very arrogant.
Right,
I don't know what. I know a lot of drivers are arrogant, but something about him, he can't always back that arrogance up
He
with
can't.
knowledge on the track.
Right. Right.
But he races hard,
Oh, he does.
as hard as anybody out there. But it seems like maybe it's experience at some of the tracks.
Right.
He doesn't know how to kind of go for it.
He don't.
It seems like he's riding, he's climbing, and then he'll fade a little bit.
Right.
Now, he has one of the best pit crews
Oh, he does.
on the circuit.
He does.
And how did that happen? I mean,
I don't know.
they are consistently top 5, if not top 2. They're amazing. We need to pull those statistics one day and put them in there. So, good job. So we'll remove that. We'll come back, and we're going to look at. Let's look at the. This is the Xfinity, right?
No, that's a truck.
Oh, that's the
series.
trucks. I'm sorry. Let's share screen and see if we can get this one pulled up. Yeah, trucks. Share. There we go. A little small. Let me blow that up just a little bit. See if I can. Oops. Let me get over here. There we go. So you mentioned Corey Haim a lot.
Yes. Yes.
And the Toyota, and this is the standings. And he's got a pretty good lead.
Oh, he does.
This is the trucks, rather. And I like the trucks. Do they race tonight?
Yes.
They
Yes.
race tonight at Michigan,
Yes. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on FS1.
FS1.
They're not on Prime, just
No,
the big
no.
race. Okay.
Prime is cut.
Prime is cut.
FS1 is trucks. CW is expanding.
Okay. I'll try to put that on the background while we're doing our show tonight. Daniel Hemrick, Chevy. He's 122 back. And really top with him is Chandler Smith in a Ford. So you got Toyota, Chevy, Ford. 2 Chevys, Tyler Ankrum and Grant Infinger. Lane Briggs, Ford, Caden Honeycutt, Chevy. I don't know none of these guys except Corey.
I know.
I think I know Chandler Smith a little bit.
I know some of them because I'm watching it more and I'm learning it more.
Now, Caruth was the winner, wasn't he?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
last
last
race.
week. Yes.
He come up 3 spots, and I remember that name. I've got to get more knowledgeable about some of these guys. I haven't really watched the trucks
Oh, I
much,
know. Yeah.
but I know you've watched a lot. And I'm
Yes.
going to do
yes.
that. So we go down, and they're actually that's a pretty deep.
It is a deep field.
Wow, 53 deep.
Yes.
Do some of these guys not race each
No,
race?
no.
Okay,
It's mostly maybe a 32 field.
okay. So we'll see. I was just looking to see if I knew any. I love that name, Lawless Allen.
Oh yeah.
What a
Lawrence
name.
Allen, he don't race every week. He's just a part-time racer.
But yeah, and I heard some of the ones that was going to race a little bit. I know Jason Alexander.
Yeah.
A lot of these, I've been away from the trucks for a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, I don't recognize them. But anyway, Corey Haim, number 11,
Right.
getting her done, and he has 4 wins.
Yes. Yes.
So
He's gonna be the champion this year.
well, he looks like it. 4 wins out of 12 starts,
Yes.
8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, 812 laps led.
Yes.
Look, there's nobody even close.
They ain't.
Nobody.
No.
This guy is killing the field, as
He
they
is
say.
killing it.
Wow. You go, man.
Every time he races, I always text Ken. I say, time.
Who's he affiliated with? Like, who's he race
Tricom.
for? Okay.
Tricom Garage.
Well, we're gonna have to see how he does at Michigan. We'll track this a little bit and see how that goes. But I think that's cool. And then looking at again the
Yeah. Xfinity is off this week.
they're not racing this week.
No.
Okay. So I was pulling up to we've got, let me get back over here. Justin Allgaier was the winner
Yes.
in the Tennessee Lottery 250
Yes,
at Nashville. They race again the 14th. Well, that's at Mexico City.
Right.
Pocono on the 21st. Atlanta.
Echo Park Speedway.
I didn't know they renamed that. Echo
Yes.
Park.
This can be called that that weekend of the 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Yeah.
They changed it from Atlanta Speedway to Echo Park Speedway.
Oh, the Chicago Street Race.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I do like that one. I don't know why, but I do like that.
I like the street race.
Simona, Dover, Indianapolis.
That's a brickyard, the Indy.
Yeah, big time. That's a big thrill.
Yeah, it is.
There's your Iowa.
Yeah.
The Newton, Iowa. Hy-Vee Perks 250. Then back into Watkins Glen, Daytona again.
Yes.
Portland. That's not a name you hear a lot either.
No, that's kind of a new track for Xfinity.
And then Madison, Illinois. NASCAR's finally race that. Madison. Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yes.
Interesting. Bristol, Kansas, Charlotte, and then playoffs.
Yeah.
After that for Las Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, Championship, Avondale, Arizona. So
They're talking about rotating the final race of the year.
the rotate. Well, yeah, we talked about that a little bit,
Yes.
and so I would pull that back up. I was interested to see how that would work. You know, I know you want to give different places the opportunity
Yeah, right. That's what they're
for
going to do.
stuff like that. It's a big deal. I get it. It's kind of like bouncing the Super Bowl around or whatever it is that they get a chance to do that, and you know the fan experience and being able to get the championship.
Well, this year it's going to be at Phoenix. Next year, Homestead.
Okay.
They're talking about rotating it every year. Giving each track
Well, that's good.
like Bristol could be on the list.
Yeah, that's good.
Talladega could be on the list.
I like that they do that. Yeah, I've gotten used to the stages. I was never a big fan of that.
I wouldn't either at first.
I have gotten used to it.
I have to.
If nothing else, it's a break during the race to go refill your cup or something.
Right.
They usually don't stay down long.
I like the restart to it because the restart to
And that makes it fun. Yeah, sometimes you get wrecks off them restart.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun to watch. Are you a fan of the one that gets the go around to get their lap back?
Yeah, in a way I am.
That's a long time tradition. That person gets to come around
Right.
and get back on the lead lap, even though they're at the tail end of the lead lap.
Right.
They get that back. That's pretty good. It gives somebody hope if your driver's kind of a lap down.
The lucky dog.
The lucky dog. And there has been instances and cases where people came from 2 laps down
Right. Oh yeah.
and got back in.
Yes.
It's hard to do, but there has been people to come back and do very well.
Me Elliott done it.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about. But that's pretty cool that it was down that much and got back in the race.
Yes.
Because I always hated it. Your driver's there's 60 laps to go and your driver's down 3 laps.
Yeah,
It's kind of depressing.
It is.
I've never. You've been to the tracks. I've not been.
Yes.
But back in the day when Earnhardt was racing, they said if he wrecked, half the stadium got up and left.
Yeah.
If not 3/4.
Right.
They just leave.
I wasn't ever there at that time, but I remember seeing it.
They just get up and be like, oh, hey, let's go home.
Right.
That's all they cared about. They didn't care watching nobody else.
Uh-huh.
Now, maybe when Dale Jr. come along, they stayed a little bit for him. but they definitely, it's like race is over. Earnhardt's out.
Right.
Is there another Earnhardt coming up? You know, they tried to get, they've never quite made it.
I think Coach Hurstvar is with the new Earnhardt.
But I mean, is there an Earnhardt in the family?
Oh.
You had Kerry, you had there was
Jeffrey
another
Earnhardt.
one. Jeffrey. Not that they'll ever be that, but how would that would impact racing in a powerful way if an Earnhardt got to where they were running near the top in NASCAR? That would be pretty amazing.
But I don't see him doing it. I really don't.
No, I don't either. But
we got Jeffrey Earnhardt that races on Sunday sometimes.
Yeah,
that's
I've heard of it.
Jerry Earnhardt does.
I know about Kerry. What an empire! That he commanded, and really, Broski Bear says, I think Dale Earnhardt had some Chuck Norris skills.
Hey, I wouldn't doubt it one bit.
Broski, there's one thing about it. He did things in a race car that I don't think anybody else had done before.
They can't do it.
He put a car into the corner that most people would never attempt to do. And didn't wreck. And that little bit of edge that he had on that, he just dominated. And nobody wanted to see him behind them with 3 laps to go.
No.
Nobody expected that person to win. Sometimes they did, but everybody expected Earnhardt to do it.
If you look behind you, see that
the Intimidator.
That flat number 3, you know it's going to be in a wall. You know you're going.
Yeah. He's either going to get around you or he's going to put you in a wall.
Exactly.
Either way it goes. Same. I just can't imagine the amount of money that was spent on memorabilia during the Earnhardt years.
But they're still making it today.
And they're still making it today, and people still buy that. It's amazing.
It is.
It's a true legend status. And what's interesting is if you think about like Petty, Earnhardt, Gordon, and Johnson, is somebody going to surpass all of them and get more championships? Is there somebody can do that's racing right now that's already become a champion? Do you think it's even possible that someone could get to that 8th, 9th, 10th championship?
I just don't see it right now.
It seems to be so competitive and so spread out among 10 or 12. It seems like it'd be very hard to do.
These cars they got now, they've spread it even level for the whole playing field. So it'd be hard to make more than 7 championships.
Mom has a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think about the decision NASCAR made about 11 and 23?
That's a good question. Just to talk about have you ever heard of the lawsuit between NASCAR and 2311?
A little bit. I've not followed it a lot, but I have heard a little bit about it.
They have come Atlanta at the Echo Park race Sunday. Next, in a couple more weeks, they're going to take the charter away from the teams. 2311 and front row racing. It'll be open teams.
Huh. So what do you think about that?
I say take it away. They were suing NASCAR for ownership. Take it away.
So is this kind of like Indy did at one time, a power play?
Yes.
Against the domination that Francis have had?
Yes. They want each team to own some of NASCAR. And Frank's family ain't going to do it.
Interesting.
Frank's family ain't going to give up their ownership.
I wouldn't think so. But somebody, trying to break that dominance that they've had over. Those people have not been happy about decisions they've made and the control they've had over the sport for some time.
But it's a family sport. The whole family's owned it since 48.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like we see this at golf. We saw it in Indy. We saw these other leagues that appear, and they try to split things, and we'll see that. Ever see the movie Ford versus Ferrari? What do you think about Ken Miles?
I liked it.
Ford versus Ferrari. I didn't see it.
I didn't see all of it. I just seen parts of it. If I seen, I liked.
What do you think about Ken Miles?
I can't say that. I didn't see it. I can't remember that much about it. I maybe watched maybe 30 minutes of it.
Okay.
So I got to go back and watch the whole movie.
How long ago was that?
Oh Lord, maybe a year ago.
Okay. I remember hearing about it. I didn't see it. There's probably, I know they're working on some more NASCAR type stuff. If we need 2019, so that's a little ways back.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that far. But it would be interesting to see some more NASCAR movies come out.
Yeah. Yes. They're making Days of Thunder too.
That's what I was thinking about. But maybe there'll be some more.
I hope so.
And comedies.
Yeah.
It all helps to drive it.
Right.
We need the reality show.
Yes.
To follow a driver and all the goings on behind the scenes.
They got one on Netflix.
Is there one on Netflix?
Yes.
I don't have it, so I haven't seen it. I don't have Netflix, but that would be funny. Seeing the heated discussions and stuff later after a race is over.
Oh yeah, that one on Netflix.
I imagine there'd be a lot of bleeping out.
Well, yeah, it is. You have it on parental guidance. It is, but that one on Netflix has got everything in it. It talks about all the drivers last year at the chase. That made it in the chase.
Yeah. I would like to see them highlight a little more. And it's hard. You can't do it during the race, but the pit crews.
Yeah.
They get a little bit of highlight, and they do show them when they win the race.
Right.
And they're punching each other, high fiving, throwing Gatorade on each other. And I know that sometimes they do features on them. And they used to have, and I don't know if there still is, Dean, you can tell me, do they still have the pit crew challenge where they go out and they compete against each other?
Yes.
For that?
They do that for the All-Star race.
For the All-Star race, okay. And Mom says, now, wait a minute. Dean, you're saying you didn't want something about NASCAR? I can't believe it.
That Ford versus Ferrari, that was before, NASCAR. That was back before John Shelby got into NASCAR.
Okay.
It's not really about NASCAR, but it leads up to it.
Yeah, I didn't think there was anything he missed when it comes to NASCAR.
Right. It wasn't really about NASCAR, but John Shelby is the one that got this thing started.
Do you like the 24 Hours of Daytona?
Yes.
That's interesting. What about ARCA? Those different ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Racing's racing, I guess.
Yeah. Technically, yes.
I like it when because some of those races, they prepare so many cars the same or supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you get. You get in the car, you get it,
right.
and you go. I kind of think that's fun a little bit. What about restrictor plates?
I'm not a fan of.
I've never been a fan.
I'm not.
I know they say they do that for safety, but to me, if you're willing to put that car over 200 miles an hour,
Do it.
Do it. We got safer barriers.
That's
now.
it. Do it.
I mean, I would like. I don't like it when they have to run in a pack all the time.
Right.
I like to see somebody have some horsepower, some guts, and push that. Especially when you're tractor having to slow down. Who can get in there and really push that in the corner like that? I just never have been a fan of it.
Bill Elliott got the record for the Talladega, 212 miles an hour.
I think I do remember that. And they talk about, well, at that speed you can't. It's just too fast. But Indy cars go faster and faster.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all part of it. Everybody can't stand that kind of speed. But Earnhardt would have done it.
Yes.
You know he would have done it.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if Kyle Busch can't do it.
Kyle Busch is too cheap.
No, he probably would. Actually, he probably would. He's a pretty gutsy driver.
He'll try and do it, but he don't have the guts to do it, I'll say.
I've just always said, I'll be honest with you, I would like to see a race where they line up and they say, it's all legal. You sign a waiver Just one race. Whatever you do to the cars, whatever you do to, as long as it don't, you can't do anything to anybody else's car, like drop stuff. But whatever speed you want to generate on the track, go for it. I'd like to see what they do.
I would too.
Like an afterburner kick in on the.
Yeah. Yes. I like your
That would be
point.
funny. Have you ever watched one of those? There's several of them. One of them is the RV Derby, where they come across the racetracks and they're trying to they hit each other. They've got one where they pull the camper.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think those are great. I'm sorry. I kind of like that.
It tears them up. I like that.
Have you ever seen the big rig race?
Yeah.
Again, they're really heavy, so it's not as good as like the regular truck race, but
Yeah.
it's good to see that sometimes
I like
to see
that.
how they do.
I like the boat race too.
Boat racing, I like that. Did you see the guy the other day that lifted out of the water? Oh, he lost it. Like he bounced a little bit too much, got air underneath it, and he just come up and over.
I didn't say that.
I have went up to the Tennessee River and watched some boat racing before.
I
The speeds are incredible. It's like y'all are crazy.
like drag racing sometimes.
We do like drag racing a little bit, and we're going to start talking a little bit more about drag racing. In fact, next week we're going to start covering that just a little bit. It won't be as much as NASCAR, but I do want to cover that because there are some interesting people in that. There's still some of the legends, but there's some folks in that now that I really want to follow. I've watched quite a bit here about 3 weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. I watched one of them, and I'm trying to remember who was in that. It was somebody I wasn't expecting.
Tony Stewart's in it.
I don't remember if it was Tony. It could have been, but I think it was somebody else. And I really wanted. I like it.
I watch it sometimes.
Have you ever had the pit passes where you go down?
No, I haven't.
They say the people that say they love to smell the racing fuel and all that.
Oh, I like the smell of it in the stands.
Of course, that costs money. You got to get down there.
Yes.
I had a friend. We used to work at the place where we work, and he was a big drag race fan. And he said, "I like getting down there where you can feel it just vibrate your chest. It feels like the engine's coming through your chest. And smell that fuel."
Oh, yes.
It amazes me the work they do on those to get them ready to race again.
Yes.
The whole crew just in there breaking it down. Did you always boo Jeff Gordon?
No.
I didn't always boo him. He was
No,
never my favorite. The reason I didn't boo Jeff Gordon is very simple. Sorry, Dale Earnhardt fans. I didn't like Dale Earnhardt. He was not my guy. And I kind of liked it that the soft-spoken Jeff Gordon, I'm going to say it that way, because they always accused him. You know what they accused him of?
Yeah.
I loved it when he beat him because it really just drove Earnhardt fans crazy. I had a CB back then when he was in his prime. And when he first got there, people, they said, "Oh, this kid ain't no good." We started winning.
Uh-huh.
And I would hear one morning I heard a bunch of truckers talking about the race, and they were trashing Jeff Gordon.
Uh-huh.
And I waited for a little spot. And I just come in there and I said, "Well, boys, he won the race." Oh, they got to cussing and hollering and everything. It was a fix, NASCAR wanted Jeff Gordon to win, but I like Jeff Gordon.
But one thing about Jeff Gordon, Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy. The best thing about Jeff Gordon was that commercial they did, or not commercial, where they changed his appearance and he went and drove the car.
Yes.
Took the salesman on the ride.
I remember that.
That's one of the best things ever. I love that. If you have never seen that,
Oh, yeah.
you should go back and look at it. This guy is like, he thinks he's going to die.
Uh-huh.
That is, I don't know how they got away with that, the liability of that, but supposedly that guy had no clue who that was. But
Jeff Gordon won the first Brickyard race with NASCAR.
he did. I remember that. I do remember that race. Big thrill for him.
Yes, it was.
He's not a big dude, but he raced big.
Yes, he did.
That was a great combination, Hendrick and Jeff Gordon. And then Jimmy Johnson comes along.
Yeah.
And look what he does. Talk about having the riches of race car drivers. Good
Jeff
grief.
Gordon and Rick Hendrick owned Jimmy Johnson's car together.
Okay. Who's a driver that you always thought was going to be really good but never made it? Is there somebody that pops in your head?
Dale Jr.
Now, there's a lot of people that say that.
I thought he'd make it. I thought he would.
He really just never put it all together consistently enough.
He tried to.
He did try. Early on, he partied a lot. His daddy would get on to him.
Yes.
Got to take this serious. He was young and cocky and
Right.
partying it up. He did later, but then the injury started occurring.
Right.
And let's face it, if you want to call it the eye of the tiger, he lost that.
He did.
And he was not going to go in those corners like he used to.
No.
Family, he just wasn't going to do it. But there's some drivers, a few of them I thought would really get up there and win.
Who's your pick you thought would really do good?
Well, what is that guy's name? He was one of the Newman.
Right, yeah, right.
Big driver, one of the biggest drivers to race in NASCAR. He was a good driver, but I always thought he was going to be more than what he was. I thought he would be a champion many times. But he was no fear. He had no fear. He reminded me on that part a little bit like Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Not saying he was as good, because he certainly wasn't. But I thought that he would. And I guess you could say, although he won and he won a lot, I thought he'd win a lot more was Mark Martin. I thought he would. Yeah. I thought he had the skill in the team with Roush Racing. I thought that he would surpass the champions that's out there. It seemed like Mark was always older than what he was.
Yeah.
It's like he aged himself out. It's like he was here, then it wasn't here. So,
I bet Mark, he's not a tall man. He's short.
Yeah, he's a short guy, thin guy.
Yeah, he is.
Good Ford driver.
Yes. Yeah.
Jack Roush.
Carl Edwards, I thought, would come up.
That's a good pick. I thought Carl Edwards would do a lot more too. And Dale Jarrett. He did win, but not to the level that I thought he would be.
Not like his dad.
No, not like his dad. No, for sure. Next week we'll pull up the all-time wins chart and kind of look at that, kind of go down through there, some of the all-time greats, and and we got robbed. We got robbed of some drivers. Davey Allison.
Yes.
This guy was obviously a champion.
Here he is.
I don't know if he got up there, but Adam Petty was really showing a lot of greatness early on as a young driver with Petty Enterprises. Again, I'm not saying he would have won like the others, but Davey Allison, Ernie Irvan, injuries kind of took him out.
Yes.
Old Ernie.
Swerving Irvan.
He either won or he wrecked.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Petty Earnhardt, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon. Who you got? Rank them. That's tough, man.
Thanks.
Well, listen, I'm a Petty guy, but the problem with Petty is I know all the wins. Is he's earlier than these guys.
Right.
And it was a little different. They could get away with stuff that these guys couldn't.
Right.
So if we're going all time just by the domination of the sport, I have to put Petty. But if you're going to kind of bring that into more modern times, I don't see how you can put Earnhardt less than one. And that's tough, though. Those are all multi-champion guys.
Yes.
But Earnhardt dominated. He was the intimidator, the dominator, and all that.
I would rank him.
Maybe it's not fair to even put Jimmy below.
Well, I don't know. Jimmy's a several-time champion.
That's what I'm saying. This is tough, man. You really stumped me on this one.
I'll put Earnhardt, Petty, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon.
And honestly, while you were counting them off, I was thinking in my head, I wouldn't even change that list the way you just said it. As hard as that is,
you got a point.
One race, all the beans, who you got, if that helps. Earnhardt. One race, Earnhardt. Now, you didn't say where.
Right.
If it's a road course, I'd probably go Jeff Gordon.
I would too.
Because he was really good at road courses.
Yes.
But if you're going super speedway,
Earnhardt.
I have to say Earnhardt. Whenever that guy was on the track, You just thought he was going to win.
Yes.
And I
yes.
really don't say that you say that about the others
No.
as much. Although
No.
you thought, well, they can win this race. With Earnhardt, it was like, well, Earnhardt probably he'll go win
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
He was always in the top 5
He was.
and fighting for the win. So
Right.
intimidating. That's
it.
he has to be number 1.
Yes.
And I didn't even like the guy, but I got respect.
Yes. Yes.
And I will say, as I was leaving we were leaving the Georgia game, and as we got in the car, we heard about the wreck. And that's a 3-hour drive from Athens to home, and we were almost home. And I thought it was bad, but they weren't saying anything. But when what's the Darrell Waltrip?
Right.
You could tell in his voice.
Yes.
We had no video. We didn't have cell phones back then.
No.
Watching it going down the road.
Right.
His voice, the way he talked about it before they kind of went off the air, I thought that ain't good. But I really thought he was just badly injured.
Right. I do too.
We were almost home when we got the news. And it was like you could write a song because that was the day that NASCAR died.
It was. It was. It was.
Even though they went on, even though there was a lot of really good things happen for NASCAR, it died that day.
It did.
It never was the same
No, it
after that day.
No. It would never be the same.
And you're right. I don't think it ever will.
It
You're
won't.
just going to have to take it where it's at and go forward.
Right.
That is it just never was the same. It's
Right.
like the day the music died. Or
It
something.
was.
I mean,
It really was.
it was horrible. It's also that death eventually led to several things. Well, the Hahn,
Yes.
Hahn's device.
Yes.
It led to better safety in the cars, the safer barrier.
Right.
There's a lot of things you could name there.
Yes. Yes.
And one of my guys I really liked, Sterling Marlin, was
Right.
the guy that tapped him right.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that? And he took a lot of heat. That was not a dirty move. A
It
lot of people hated his guts for that. He was shook up after that race. It just shocked the world.
Right. Before the race started, Earnhardt had told Michael Watson and Dale Jr. whoever gets up front, stay there, and I'll block for y'all.
Tragic. Where was that at? What racetrack was that at?
Daytona.
Daytona. I could remember.
Daytona 500, 2001.
Wow. You just don't want to see that.
No.
But the video, when they look in the car and they're waving the people
Right.
over
Right.
and they start crying right away, you knew it was really, really bad.
Yes.
And I knew people that for 2 weeks couldn't come to work without tears in their eyes. That's how much they loved that guy.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
how much of a fan they were.
I don't doubt it.
And there were some people that tried to mock them. Like, come on, man, it's just a race car driver. No, to them it was more
Right.
than a race car driver.
No,
And
definitely.
I know people, after he died, they sold every memorabilia they had and they quit watching the race.
It's like when Elvis died, people,
True. Very true. It's iconic.
it was.
It's sad to say it, but it's iconic. And things were never the same after that.
It wasn't.
It's Earnhardt and then after. And although a lot of good things happened out of it, it killed the sport.
It did.
And because when you got the dude. We had lost some people,
Right.
sadly. Adam
Yes.
and Allison and who was the other one? There was a couple more that died.
Yeah.
Well, even locally, we lost Grant Adcock.
Yes.
We lost, was it
Uh,
Wiki?
yeah. Yeah. Yes.
We lost him, but nobody to the level of Earnhardt.
No.
Nobody. And that shook the sport.
It still shakes the sport to this day.
And, for a long time, the Black 3 didn't race.
No. Right.
They finally brought it back, and there's been different drivers in that car. But it seems weird. And I know that the owners own the number.
Right.
So they can't say, like, retire it out. But honestly, and I know it's nice to sit out there on the track, but I honestly wonder if that was the right thing to do,
It
to
was.
put that number back out
It
there.
was.
A lot of people were angry about that and said that it should have been forever
It
retired.
should have been retired long ago.
and maybe one day. I was thinking about this the other day, and we'll get off here. We're a little over our hour, but we don't mind. There was I think Gordon had won the championship, and they were in New York for all the festivities.
Yes.
Earnhardt's still alive,
Yes.
and I think it was Gordon, and he wanted to salute Earnhardt.
Uh-huh.
And you remember Earnhardt got up and he had what did Gordon had the milk? What did milk or did Earnhardt have that? One of them had the milk, and I can remember him standing up and he played along, dressed in his tux and all that.
Uh-huh. I remember that.
They drank milk in a salute.
Right.
That was pretty cool. It was almost like a little bit of the passing of the torch.
Yes.
A little bit. Because Earnhardt was slipping just a little slightly.
Yes. Yes.
He was still up top,
No.
but he wasn't winning as consistently as he had before.
He was.
He really was not. Although to the fans, you would never convince them that he had slipped a little bit. He was starting to get a little
But
bit.
I agree with you. They should not ever brought the number 3 back. They should have been retired with him.
And the poor driver that had to step in that when they did, even in the car without the 3.
Austin Dillon drives it now.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for him, but he can't be carried the number 3.
They should do it almost like a decal. If you win, if you're a champion, for the whole next year, you get to carry the 3 as a smaller decal on your car
I like
to
that.
honor Earnhardt and your championship.
Yes.
And then you pass it off whenever the next champion is crowned. If it's you or another, you have a ceremony, and you pass that off.
I like that.
That way, it's not really the number on the car, but it's for the champion.
Right.
I think that would be something
I
that
do
would be interesting. And is there any track named after him?
And no,
That's a travesty.
it is.
I think NASCAR could do better on this. Broski says, I have respect for Jeff Gordon despite what most people I do thought.
True.
You can dislike somebody and still have respect
Right.
for them. I disliked Earnhardt, not because he was winning all the time. I couldn't get my driver up there to win. Well, I guess it's because he's winning. But I just wasn't a fan of, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the Childress racing. I just wasn't. I was a Ford guy. I wasn't a Chevy guy. So, I was rooting for Mark Martin. Rusty Wallace. Remember him?
Oh, yes.
Rusty Wallace?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's the good old days. I'm sorry. I'm going back in the past a little bit. But
oh, yeah.
it's fun to bring all eras in.
Well, what do you think about Junior Johnson?
He was a true character.
Yeah, it was.
A true character. And that touches all the way back to the beginning of NASCAR. And that's pretty cool. Hey, folks, you know what? That's what this show's about.
Right.
We're fans.
Right.
We are fans. And we can have fun. We're going to show respect to all the drivers.
Right.
But we're also going to pick at them, too.
Right.
And I'll salute Dale Earnhardt. God bless his memory.
Right.
The early, the Pettys,
Yes.
the Allisons, and those drivers put NASCAR on the map in a big way.
Yes.
Earnhardt took it to another level.
Yes.
Maybe in some ways, Gordon and Johnson solidified it.
Right.
But it just has never been the same. Kyle Busch, he's iconic because he has been controversial.
Right.
He's cocky.
Yes.
And he's good.
Yeah, he is.
I don't like him. I got respect for his talents. And now we're seeing all these a new generation of young drivers come along who are dang good. And I can't wait to see what they do in the days
But
coming.
we don't recognize the young drivers nowadays. We don't recognize them.
They don't get enough. They go back and they're still highlighting Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip gets more face time than some of these young drivers.
Yes.
To be honest. And I know and listen, I'm not saying this in a negative way. I know that NASCAR desperately wants Bubba Wallace to win and win big because for a lot of reasons that opens up to a whole. It already has brought new fans.
Oh, it has.
I get that.
It has.
But he's got to do it. He can't give it to him.
Right.
He's got to do that. And they would love to see a female come and do really well in the racing too. I get it. Some people don't think they should.
There's been several that's tried to come up and they haven't done it yet.
Jenny Hamlin, your thoughts, David Pearson. I was a big David Pearson fan. I don't know what it is about Hamlin. I've just never been a fan, but I don't diss his talent, but I recognize how good he's raised.
Oh yes.
But David Pearson, I was a big fan of. You're going back to my era.
Right.
The Pearsons, I love them.
Yes.
They probably didn't get the credit maybe that they deserved as well. Not that they won a whole heck of a lot, but they were. That's some legend right there.
Oh yes, yes.
You know, I was a petty guy, but I always liked, Baker and like the Allisons. Kel Yarborough. I was a big fan of Kel Yarborough.
Yes, yes.
You get up a little bit further. I mean, I'll be honest. I was an Ernie Irvan fan.
Yeah.
I did. Ernie Irvan won me $90 one time on a race. It wasn't bets. We were playing fantasy NASCAR, but with money, and we put money each week on certain drivers. And Ernie was always one of my drivers. I'll never forget the week he won me that $90. It rolled over for 3 weeks in a row, and the fact that he won it because all my friends hated him, and the fact that he won that race and won me the $90, way to go, Ernie. Then after that, it was all downhill, man. The injuries.
Yeah, yeah.
But I miss the Dick Trickles of the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
Dale Earnhardt always took care of him.
Really?
He made sure if he needed an engine or something to get in a race, Dale Earnhardt took care of Dick Trickle.
What about Bertie Shepherd?
I was never a big fan.
Oh, either.
Never a big fan of
He
him.
never do nothing. Did he?
To be honest, I wasn't a huge Rusty Wallace fan, but he raced Ford, so I wanted Fords to win. But I was never a huge Rusty Wallace fan. He's a big car dealer now.
Yes, yes.
I liked Mark Martin. That was one of my guys. I liked Carl Edwards, Jarrett. Those are all drivers that I liked. And I'm probably forgetting some that I really did like. But age takes its toll, and now we got the new guys. I'm excited about these new guys. I really am. And folks, we're excited to come each week, maybe twice a week. Who knows?
Right.
And bring and have this discussion. Have fun with the races this weekend, Dean. I will as well. And hey, it's the weekend. Enjoy it.
Right.
Let's watch some Michigan racing. The trucks. Dean's going to be locked in here soon for the trucks.
Yes.
Xfinity's off. Excuse me.
Right.
And the 2 p.m. race on Sunday.
Right.
I'll definitely be watching. Dean has. I've never been to Charlotte.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never been. One of the things I would like to do is I'm hoping that me and Dean can go to a race. I'm hoping that can work out. I would love to go. And anybody else wants to go, but I would love to go to. Actually, I'd love to go to Bristol. Is where I'd love to go. We'll see. We'll see. If not Atlanta or something, we'll figure it out. We just have to plan. Got a plan. Hey, folks, have a great evening. We'll be back shortly. I got to get flipped around here for the front porch talking. If we can, it's very emotional. It's D-Day, so Memorial.
Right.
And we're planning on talking military tonight on front porch, but it's very emotional for some people. So we're going to try to pull this off. But if you have a veteran, and I'm not trying to get viewers, but if you have a veteran you'd like to drop in, we'll put their name on the screen. They don't have to have been in war, just that they served the United States, their service. We're going to put all the names up that anybody submits tonight. Y'all pray for Robert. It's very emotional. His granddad served. He lost his dad tragically. And thank you, Mom. You too.
Thanks, Mom.
Let's pray for our nation. Yes. Pray for the veterans. Yes. Pray for these families that some of them don't even know where their loved one is. Right. Love America. We're America first. We don't apologize for it.
Nope.
And we love Jesus Christ.
That's right.
We don't apologize for that either.
No.
And so we love you. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you can join in. There'll be multiple programs through the weekend. And Dean, we'll see you first of the week. Y'all take care. We'll go out with some music. And we'll see you soon. This has been fun. Yeah, thanks everybody bringing those comments in.
Thanks, folks.
I really, really enjoyed the discussion tonight. And we're going to add to it each week. We're going to highlight the trucks and Xfinity more. And some drag racing, I promise. It's coming as well. Not as much as NASCAR. And we're going to start really digging into the history of NASCAR.
Yes.
And maybe get some old clips up.
Okay.
That'd be fun in the days ahead. It's Southern Fried Racing Hour. Salute.
Odds lab, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Fried Racing Hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Dave and Dean roar each week, spin the wheels, engines speak. Tracks of fire, dust and smoke, southern skies, the throttles choke. Fast and fierce, racing souls, tearing through the endless cold. Twisted metal, thunder growls, screams of tires, dirt that scowls. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Pride racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Every lap a rebel's dream. Gasoline, hearts and the scream. Dave and Dean crown the track. Each corner fight, ain't turning back. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Pride racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Fried racing breed. Southern Fried racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed.